In 1976, Hollywood stuntman Hal Needham came up with the idea of directing a low-budget B-movie about bootlegging Coors beer cross-country. His idea was to spend $1 million on the film and to cast country and western star Jerry Reed in the lead role. Yes, Jerry Reed was the original choice to star as the Bandit. However, as we all know, in Hollywood things very rarely go according to plan. And in this case, a man with an infectious laugh, a trademark moustache and box office clout would soon step in to take Jerry's place. This is the fascinating backstory of Smokey and the Bandit, a film that would become the second highest grossing movie of 1977.
You're crazy, you know that? Yeah, you know that.
Yes.
You're watching Pick of the Flicks with Tony Douglas, and welcome to Hollywood Backstory, our exclusive web series where we step behind the red curtain to unravel some amazing tales from a time gone by. In today's episode, we reflect on the hugely successful action comedy Smokey and the Bandit, an hilarious country and western infused car flick that set a cinema benchmark for cross-country chase films and put the Pontiac Trans Am on the international map. Smokey and the Bandit marked Hal Needham's directorial debut, but his inclination to step into the director's chair didn't come without its fair share of problems. Studio heads and producers looked at Needham as no more than a stuntman and failed to take his pet project seriously. But things were about to change. Before production began on Bandit, Hal Needham's close friend, actor Burt Reynolds, took a quick look at the script. Reynolds, who at the time was the biggest star in the world, was not impressed with Needham's script. In fact, Reynolds said that it was one of the worst scripts he had ever read. Reynolds went on to say that the idea was good, but the dialogue was horrible. Nevertheless, Burt, who was working at the time with Needham on the movie Gator, must have spotted enough potential, because he quickly did a turnaround and told Needham that he would like to star in the film, provided Needham could find a writer to help polish the dialogue. Needham had to act quickly, as Burt told him that he only had a 6-week window of opportunity in his schedule. According to Burt, when his friends found out that he had committed to the project, they literally got down on their knees with tears in their eyes and begged him not to do it. Of course, Burt took no notice of them and decided to give Hal, the guy who lived in his pool house for 12 years, a chance to prove himself as a first-time director. With Burt in the driver's seat, Hal Needham's small picture suddenly had bigger box office aspirations. As a result, Jerry Reed would now have to step back and be content to star as Reynolds' truck-driving sidekick, Snowman. With Burt on board, Universal Studios greenlit the project, and immediately the budget was increased to $5.3 million, of which Reynolds was to receive $1 million. The next hurdle was to cast Sheriff Buford T. Justice. The first person on the shortlist was Western character actor Richard Boone, but for one reason or another, producers decided that Boone wasn't the man for the job. It is rumoured that Burt Reynolds wanted someone a little crazier, a little more dangerous, and a lot funnier. Producers agreed with Reynolds and were convinced that upping the ante on the comedy quotient would be the way to go. As a result, they all agreed that Honeymooners' favourite Jackie Gleason fitted the mould perfectly, so he was immediately cast, and as we all know, the laughs piled up from there.
That's an attention getter.
When it came to casting the female lead, Burt Reynolds suggested popular TV actress Sally Field, who he had first spotted on the short-lived TV series Gidget. Universal initially resisted, claiming that Sally Field wasn't sexy enough. Burt Reynolds' reply was that talent is sexy. Despite having an underwritten part, Sally was advised by her agent to accept the role in order to get a big movie on her resume. Bandit would also mark a period of time when Burt and Sally became an item. Needham once said that in Smokey and the Bandit, filmgoers can witness the couple falling in love on screen, and he cited the take your hat off scene as the deal breaker. When Sally asked Burt, "Do you ever take your hat off?" Burt's reply was, "Only for one thing." Sally then replied, "Take your hat off." As fate would have it, 2 days before production began, Smokey and the Bandit's $5.3 million budget was slashed by $1 million. After taking Burt's $1 million out of that, this left Needham with only $3.3 million to make the film. As a result, Needham and his assistant director David Hamburger spent 20 hours revising the shooting schedule. Smokey and the Bandit was primarily filmed in Georgia, and with the budget cuts, they had to shoot extra pages each day, which was almost impossible to achieve. To make sure that everything went well, Needham asked his Southern Baptist mother to fly out and pray for the safety of all involved. According to Needham, his mother would continue the practice of blessing every other movie that he directed. Apart from the winning performances and the spectacular car stunts, one of the big reasons for Bandit's success was the simplicity of the film's plotline. In the film, Burt Reynolds is hired to bootleg 400 cases of Coors beer from Texarkana, Texas to Atlanta, Georgia in 28 hours. The amazing thing is, the Coors beer plotline was inspired by an incident that happened in 1976 while Needham was working as Burt Reynolds' stunt double on Gator. Apparently, Needham's hotel maid kept stealing his Coors beer from the hotel fridge. This triggered Needham to recall a Time magazine article he once read about how Coors beer was often bootlegged because it was unavailable east of the Mississippi River, due to the fact that the beer wasn't pasteurised and needed constant refrigeration. Yes, the Coors beer plotline left a big enough impression on viewers that the sale of Coors beer increased considerably after the film became a box office success. Having said that, Coors beer wasn't the only spark that helped propel this good-natured action comedy to the next level. More on that in our next episode. Well, that concludes part 1 of our Smokey and the Bandit backstory. Time now for you to have your say. Have you seen Smokey and the Bandit? If so, what do you think of the movie? Better still, why not reminisce and share some of your happy memories about the film? Did you see it in a cinema, at a drive-in, on video, or did you just catch up with it on cable? We want to hear about it, so please share your thoughts. Also, if you have any additional information to contribute to this intriguing backstory, please feel free to do so in the comments below. Finally, for part 2 of our Smokey and the Bandit backstory, be sure to subscribe to this channel. Until next time, this is Tony Douglas, talking movies for Pick of the Flicks. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.